All right, so you should have to like accept a thing that says that we're recording. And I think people will continue to come in, but I think we can go ahead and get started with at least introductions so that we can
Awesome.
have time for everything. We got lots of stuff for y'all tonight.
Hello. Hi. I am Morit, Morit Summers, and I'm sure that you all know, and that's why you're here. But I am the owner of Form Fitness Brooklyn. I'm a personal trainer and a strength coach, and I wrote the Big and Bold strength training book for the plus size woman. And I'm excited to be here, and I'm going to take you through a kind of body weight beginner strength workout, and then we get to do some yoga with Laura. So I'm going to let Laura introduce herself. Laura, you're muted.
I've never used Zoom before. Hi everyone, I'm Laura Burns. I am a body liberation guide and yoga teacher, and Morit and I are in the same series. I have my book right here, so I'm just going to show it. So I did Big and Bold yoga for the plus size woman, and I'm super excited to provide the gentle yoga cool down for our workout today. And I have a couple things that I want to make sure and say. One is if you hear like weird screaming noises from my feed, it's because there are peacocks in the neighborhood, and this time of day is when they like to yell. So just letting you know, because it really is weird if you don't know what that noise is. And the second thing is for my portion, if you have a small blanket, like a couch-sized blanket or like a thick beach towel that you can grab, we're going to be using that, but that's the only prop you need from me. Morit, is there anything that people need for your part?
If you have small weights and you want to use them, we're going to do some like just shoulder movements. I won't even hold anything today, but if you have something, even water bottles, cans, absolutely you can grab that. If you have either a chair or access to a wall or a little bench, I would grab something available just for balance purposes. You may not need it, but you know, why not have it available? If everybody is ready to go, let's warm up. So I am not going to put music on because I think that it just messes with the sound. So if you want to put music on for yourself because you're on mute, please do that. So I hope everyone can see me. Awesome. I'm going to tilt. Sorry, I feel like you can't see my legs. So I'm going to tilt that down a little bit. Okay, I think that's better. All right, so like I said, I have a mat, and if you need something for under your knees, I would definitely do that. A pillow, a towel, but we're gonna start on the floor. I'm gonna take a little bit of Laura's yoga movements just to get us warmed up. So we're gonna start with some cat-cow, driving our hips all the way back, chest up to the sky, and then just rounding our spine up to the ceiling, pulling our hips in, and doing that just a few times, dropping out, pulling our hips in. Let's do that 2 more times. Hips drive out, chest up, pull the hips in. 1 more time. Hips in. Awesome. So now we're going to do what's called a bird dog. So this is going to be opposite arm and leg extension. And I'm going to make sure I'm really planting into the floor. Extend one arm in the opposite leg, bring it back down, and then switch to the other side. I want to make sure that I'm holding my belly in really strong and keep alternating sides at a nice slow pace. I'm on number 5. We're going to go to 12. 6, 7, 8, 9. 2 more. 1 more time. Full extension. Awesome. Now, if you have a chair or a bench or anything that feels right for you, we're going to do what I like to call a spider. It's a hip opener. So I'm gonna go up into a plank position, holding on to whatever I have. And I'm gonna bring my foot around so that I can elongate my body. I will then bring it back and switch to the other side. Now, I can do this from the floor. So if you don't have anything and you want to try from the ground, you bring your foot around. Once the foot is down, I can take some of the weight off of my arms, and then I'm going to switch to the other side. So I'm going to have you do that 3 more times on each leg. Again, feel free to use something at an incline. Make sure you're breathing. Hopefully, if you've been sitting a lot today, you're getting a nice big hip stretch. 2 more. 1 more time. Awesome. Okay. Move your chair or bench out of the way. We're going to lay on our backs. We're going to do some regular glute bridges. So I want to pelvic tilt by pulling my belly button down to the ground and then press my hips up to the sky and slowly release. So push, tilt and push. We're going to go for 10 reps. That was 3. Really squeeze the butt. If you're feeling your lower back, that means that you forgot to do your pelvic tilt. Push those feet through the floor. 2 more, push. 1 more time. Awesome. Now, one leg is going to go flat on the ground. The other leg is going to be bent, so my foot is on the floor. And I'm just going to lift my leg straight up to the sky as high as I can. As I do that, I just want to kind of kick it back so that I'm getting a little bit of a hamstring stretch. Don't fling it back, just a little lift. We're going to go for 3 more. 1, 2, and 3. We're going to switch sides. Again, my one foot is on the floor, so my knee's bent. My other leg straight, and I just bring my leg straight up to the sky. Big hamstring stretch. It's also warming up the quads. We're going to go 3 more. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, now very slowly, I want everyone to come on up to a standing position. Shake it out. I'm going to fix my shorts. Okay. What I want to do is just swing my arms, open them up. You can move your feet around just kind of to keep moving. But I really want to open up my chest. Again, some people have been sitting at computers, so we really want to do that. And then we're going to go up and over, hit our back. One more time. Very nice. Okay, now last thing, we're going to do some big arm circles. So I'm just going to bring my hands all the way back as far as I can, trying not to flare too much at the ribs. We're going to go 3 more. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, shake it out. Now, if anyone wants some water, now is a really good time to get a sip. I am going to, because talking and working out is difficult. Okay, so I'm gonna have everyone grab, again, whatever they have available chair wise. You do not need it. We're going to do some squats. If you end up needing it, it's right there for you. So real quick before you squat, I want to give a really quick lesson. I want everyone to get a little further than hip distance apart. You're going to turn your toes out at about a 30-degree angle. Doesn't have to be perfect. What I want to do is drive my butt all the way back behind me. And as I do that, push my knees out. I want to create space for my body. So hips back, knees out, sit, and come back up. I'm going to do that one more time. Hips back, knees out, and come back up. If you need to do this on a chair, it's the same thing. Hips back, knees out, find your chair, and then come back up. Don't rest if you can avoid resting, okay? So we're going to do 10 squats. Ready? And go. Hips back, knees out, come back up. Good. Adjust your feet and your distance if you feel like you need to. Hips back, knees out. Good. If you have a weight, you could hold something. No pressure. We're sitting back, knees out. That's 6. 7. We have 3 more. 1, 2, one more time, and 3. Amazing. So you might need to scoot your chair out of the way. We're going to do some push-ups. So many options for push-ups. If you had a bench and you wanted to do incline, if you want to do the wall, absolutely feel free. It's going to be hard for me to show that given the angle. For now, we're going to go either full plank or kneeling. I want you to hold your belly in strong, and as slow as you can, bring your chest to the ground and then just pop back up. I don't care about the up, I care about the down. So again, as slow as you can, belly strong, pull, and then just pop back up. We're gonna go for 5 reps, okay? Ready? And down, up, pulling yourself down. 3, 2 more. 4, one more time. And 5, amazing. Okay, now I'm gonna have everybody come back up again. We're going to do a back lunge. Yeah, you can see me, losing my mind. If you need a chair or a wall or something to hold on to, do that. Something in front, something to the side to help with balance. But I want you to step slowly back and sit into your hips as much as you can. If you can't go all the way down, just step back and drive back up with that front leg. So again, I would sit back and drive back up with that front leg. So we're going to do 8 lunges on each leg. Ready? And go. Sorry, stick to one leg. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 3 more. 1 more time. Good, shake out the legs. We're gonna switch to the other side. Ready? 1, 2, 3 more. 1 more time. Amazing. Okay, shake it out, shake it out. Here's the good news. We get to do all 3 of those exercises just 1 more time, and then we get to do yoga. So it's good. If you need a sip of water, please feel free. Otherwise, we're going right back into our squats. Ready? Get into that stance. Feet are just wider than hip width, turned out, hips back, knees out. Ready? 1, 2. Remember, we're going for 10. Remember to trust yourself sitting back. I think that was 4. 6, 7, 3 more. 8, 9, one more time. And 10. Okay, shake out those legs. We're coming down for those push-ups. Remember, you only have 5 push-ups. You can do wall, chair, floor, whatever makes sense for you. Deep breath. We're pulling our chest down to the ground all the way with control. Palms come up. All the way down with control. Slow. Pop back up. That's 3. We have 2 more. One more time. Amazing. Okay, we have lunges and then we're done. So come on up. Shake it out. Deep breath. Pick a leg. 8 on one leg. Ready? Step back. Drop down. This is 3. 4. 4 more. 2 more. We got this. One more time. Amazing. Okay, we're switching to the other side. Step back. Remember to drive your hips back behind you. We have 3 more. 1, 2, one more time. And 3, amazing. Okay, everybody shake it out. Breathe, get a sip of water. So that was a very basic 3 movement workout, no weights. We all know I love weights. The book is about lifting weights, but unfortunately I figured not everyone has them right now. We can definitely do another workout some point with using weights, do some more upper body. For now, we got our heart rates up. We did some fun stuff. And now, after you get some water, Laura's gonna do some yoga with us. Oh, and just a reminder, at the end, we are gonna do some Q&A, questions, answers. We want to have a discussion with everyone. We're really excited that you're all here to support us. So I'm going to pass it over and I'm gonna mute myself.
Okay. No. I just need to unpin. There we go. Haha. I got it. All right. Just a reminder in case you came in late. I'm not sure how many people are here right now. If you heard weird screaming in the background, it's just peacocks. Everybody's fine. Have your water. I'm sweating. I'm ready for a gentle yoga cool down myself. Again, grab that small like couch size blanket or thick beach towel if you have it. If not, it's not the end of the world, but we do use that to make sitting on the floor more comfortable. But we're gonna start standing. So go ahead and come to your space and we're just gonna start by wiggling and shaking. And on your exhales, I want you to like sigh it out. So don't worry, nobody can hear you. I'm the only one making the noises that everybody can hear. Make sure you get your shoulders and your hips, letting everything wiggle around, jiggle around. All right, we're gonna start with some gentle side to side movement. So all this is with the legs is a swaying side to side. and arms can start to float. It's almost like being a speed skater. It's what I always think of. And then here, you can keep the foot low, just tapping the ground, or if you want, you can lift it. Depends on what feels good to you. Taking big breaths. And you can squat deeper if you want. Couple more. Coming back to center. We're going to start to twist just like this, letting the arms kind of fly out. Again, with the exhale, really sending it out. Thinking about releasing tension. And your fists just kind of land on your body. It's like a little massage. All right, coming to center. Coming to still. So little movements. We're going to come bringing feet a little closer together. And so here, taking your time to ground to the floor, making sure you feel nice and stable. We're pressing the feet down, pressing evenly between balls of the feet, heels, outer edges, inner edges, everything. Pressing down, I do little bounces because it helps me really feel the floor. Pulling up through the legs without locking the knees, keep them slightly bent. Come to your pelvis, wanting to find neutral. So not tilted forward and not popping your butt out, but somewhere in the middle. You might have to go back and forth to find it. Pulling up through the torso, broaden across the collarbones. Shoulders go back and down to the chest is lifted. Rotating arms from the shoulders, low V. Baby tuck of your chin so your gaze is diagonal down. We're going to take a series of big clearing breaths. So big inhale through the nose, big exhale through the mouth with a sigh. Really pushing it out. Last big one. Natural, easy breath now. So this is mountain pose, strong, tall, stable, grounded, like a mountain. Feel the weight of your body pressing down into the floor, wanting to be as heavy as possible. And we're going to do some gentle movement now with some rolling forward folds. So that looks like an inhale up while you reach up. Exhale, bend the knees and releasing over. Keep your knees bent the whole time. Inhale, rolling up. Another exhale. So we don't stop at the bottom, we keep moving. Never straightening the legs. And next time you're over, we're going to hold. So here we're just hanging forward. Keep your knees really bent. You can bend them a lot, wanting to bring your belly to your thighs. Soften the belly, arms hanging down. Wiggling the fingers, maybe giving your head and neck a little gentle movement, maybe a little swaying. And back to center, we're going to inhale, roll up. And then we wiggle again. Wiggle and shake, wiggle and shake. There's a lot of that. Okay, we're going to play with balance now. So just stepping to one side because we're going to move laterally. Coming to your mountain pose. So here you have options. There's always a lot of options. We're going to bring weight to the outside leg. So this inside foot is not really holding anything. And here's where you have a choice. Toe can stay on the floor with a little hop transfer, or you can choose to lift the foot a little bit or more, reaching out, little hop, trying to land. So I encourage you to find something in your field of vision that's not moving. So probably not the screen, which is why I always fall over because I start looking at myself. And then as you're ready, playing with reaching out and then transitioning, hopping, trying to stick the landing. And you can be up here, down here, and you can keep that foot on the floor. So whatever feels good to you, and you can do it differently every time. If you want to add arms, make yourself really big and hop. And if you can land it and not put the foot down in between before you go back, bonus points. If you need to put the foot down, totally cool. If you want to leave it down the whole time, totally cool. So whichever way you want to do it, it's about balance and control. But if you fall over, it's fine. I fall over all the time. All right, one more each direction. And when you're done with both sides, we're back to wiggling. And then we're going to face lengthwise. And this is going to be kind of a throwback to what Morit did in our practice, but a little different. So it's lunging. We're going to go forward and also back. But our goal is just to be really slow. We don't need to go super deep, but we want to be slow. So shifting weight onto one leg, doesn't matter which one. And stepping that foot forward. So calling on your balance, tighten your core, and plant the foot, bending that knee, high lunge. Back leg is straight, front leg is bent. So holding here, if you want, arms can come up. And then we're going to finish by stepping the other leg forward. So you're going to push into that front leg and either toe on the floor or come up, clearing the floor, coming in for a balance and stepping the foot down. And then we're going to go back. Same principle, moving slowly. So the foot that just stepped forward to close up the step, we're going to pick it up, step it back, land in that lunge. If you want, arms can be up, but they don't have to. Holding here, feeling the ground underneath your feet, feeling the muscles working. All right, we're going to take the front foot and step it back. You may make it in one step, you might need two, doesn't matter. So we're going to push off the front leg, coming back, feet next to each other. So let's do that one more time. This time stepping forward with the other leg, taking your time, plant. Back leg is straight, front leg is bent. Arms are wherever you want. And back foot is going to come forward, coming in for a balance if you want, or keep the foot on the ground, step it forward. Little wiggles, and then all we're going to do is go backwards. So that foot that just stepped forward, we're going to send it back. Nice and slow, reaching out, plant it. In the lunge. Settling in, coming up with the arms if you like. You don't have to. All right, now we're going to push off that front leg, stepping back, and then wiggle. All right, we're going to come to the floor. So if you want to take a sip of water, it's a good time. So this is where, if you have that blanket, this is a good, this is the time to use it. So I have my blanket just folded up until it becomes this size. And then I do it one more time. So we're looking to create something about this size. If you have like a bolster, that would be perfect. As long as it's not super thick, but a blanket or a beach towel can fold up like this. We're just going to put it down. And if you don't have it, you're going to be fine, but just in case. All right, so coming down to the floor, any way that feels comfortable for you. All right, we're coming to wide leg. So we're sitting on top of our folded blanket and scooted forward. If sitting on the floor feels uncomfortable for you, which it does to a lot of people, and you feel like your body is always trying to pull you backwards, if you sit up on this folded blanket and scoot to the front of it, it'll tilt you, change the angle of your body. It makes it a lot easier to sit on the floor. So just a tip. Okay, wide leg. Let's flex the feet, really pulling back the ankle and the toes. Upper body is just hanging out, so just relax. And we're gonna roll through the feet, coming to demi point. So the feet are pointed, but the toes are flexed. And full point, pressing the toes down. Really pressing, wanting to feel a stretch happen across tops of the feet, maybe even fronts of the ankles. Big flex, pulling back, big point, pressing down. All right, wiggle, toes, moving the ankles. All right, so I'd like to introduce you to probably my favorite thing in the whole world. I don't know, I love this. So I want you to flex your big toes and point the other four. So we're sending them opposite directions. This is the hitchhiker. Really pulling the toes back, pointing the other four. If this is the first time you've done this, it's gonna feel super weird. If you've taken class from me before, then you know what this is. All right, we're gonna switch. We point, press down with the big toes and flex the other four. This is called the other guy, AKA Kevin is now his name. So keep pressing down with the big toes. Generally, this is harder for people than the first one. So if you're feeling that, then you're normal. All right, switch one more time. Hitchhiker, big toes up, four toes pointed. And switch the other guy, pointing big toes, flexing the four. Press, press, press. Okay, wiggle your toes. Let's roll the ankles as big of a circle as you can. And other direction. All right, relax the legs. Now we're gonna mess with the upper body. So from the waist down, just heavy, like your lower half is just an anchor. And then we're gonna lift up super tall through the torso. Again, open across the collarbones, shoulders back and down. That really lifted posture from earlier. And let's roll. So we're doing it slow. We're starting kind of small. If you want, you can make it bigger. I have like the medium phase, and I call these like chicken wings. And if you like the big ones, go for it. An opposite direction, again, nice and slow, but if you want it, keep it small, take it to medium or take it to the big ones. I'm gonna stay down here. You do whichever type you like. Shake me out the arms. All right, so we're going to do some side bends and some twisting. So bring your hand to the floor for support, reaching over. Now underneath your armpit, side of your chest, lift it straight up. Getting any more stretch here. Bottom arm goes to the inside of the leg, press against it, twisting chest to ceiling. Opening through the chest. Coming up, twist over this leg, reaching. And dropping to center, getting some support from the floor, relax the belly, shoulders rounding forward. Sinking as low as feels good. And coming up, side bend, other direction. Get some support, reaching. Again, under the armpit, side of the chest, lifting straight up. Bottom arm to the inside of the leg, turning chest towards the ceiling, twisting open. And coming up, twisting over the leg, reaching. Coming to the center, again, Softening the belly, really rounding over, relaxing everything. Bending elbows, allowing your back to round. And coming up nice and slow. Shaking everything out. And we're going to bring soles of the feet together, knees out to the side. This is Baddha Konasana or bound angle. Lifting the chest, sitting up nice and tall. We're going to do a seated version of cat-cow that Morit led us through earlier in the kneeling version. So here's another way to do it. Hands to the front of the legs or hands to the front. So I'll show you both versions. Inhale, press hands into the legs, push the chest forward, chin comes up. And then exhale, pressing down, rounding, or bringing arms forward. Inhale, swing the arms back, squeezing shoulder blades together. Exhale, sending arms forward, scooping out the torso. So either way you want to do it. Arms on the body or arms off the body. Exaggerate the shapes. Coming back to center, wiggling around, getting comfortable. Now, if this leg position sucks and you hate it and you want to change leg positions, sit however you want. If this is working for you, stay here. We're going to end with just a little bit of pranayama or breath work. So it really doesn't matter how you're seated, so whatever works for you. All right, lifting the chest. And you can close your eyes or soften your gaze, wanting to bring your attention to your natural breath as it's flowing right now. Knowing that our breath feels different all the time. And so your breath will feel different if you're sitting at your desk or watching TV than if you have just been exercising. So we just want to notice what your natural, easy breath feels like in this moment. And once you have noticed what your breath feels like, we're going to control it now. Instead of letting it flow, we're going to be in charge, taking over from the brain. And all we're going to do is lengthen the inhales and exhales so that they're nice, big breaths. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. Let's take 6 big breaths together. And after your 6th breath, going back to natural, easy breathing. And here, bringing hands together, palms touching in front of the heart to Anjali Mudra, a gesture of gratitude and respect, or hands to the heart, whatever feels more comfortable to you. Wanting to connect to yourself, feeling the temperature and texture of your hands, your chest, your skin, feeling the solidity of your body. Taking a moment, sending yourself gratitude for being here today, for this practice, for the self-care. And then sending gratitude to each other for being here together. Holding space for each other to move and breathe and explore maybe something new altogether. And we'll take one last big breath together. The light in me honors the light in you. Thank you so much for being here for our practices. So now if you want to get some more water. If you want to move to a more comfortable seat, Morit will come back on and we will move to the Q&A portion. So take your time in case you want to move. Unpin me like that. And then I'm going to do this like this. All of a sudden, it doesn't have that option. Okay, well, we'll just be in gallery like this, and that's how we'll be. All right.
I just want everyone to know that my toes did not want to do what Laura wanted them to do.
It's a super weird movement that you would never ever do in your life, like ever. It's so weird. But the more you do it, the easier it becomes, like many things.
I have done it with my feet on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
So I have that like tactile cue. Mm-hmm. I've never done it seated, and I was like, blah, blah. Like toes flying around. Anyway, but it was fantastic. Okay, I know that right now we don't have a ton of people, but we have a few, and so we hope that maybe you guys have some questions or things that you want to talk about with us.
Yeah, and I'd like to, oh, sorry. If you want to put them in the chat instead of unmuting and talking, go for it. You don't have to say it loud. And you can also send it privately to either me or Morit through the chat. And in case you've never done that before, if you pull up the chat, it'll say to, and then it defaults to everyone, and there's a little drop down. And if you click on that, you can send it directly to somebody. So if you want to send it anonymously, well, it'll be anonymous to everybody else.
But yeah, in the meantime, I don't know if there's anything that you wanted to talk about, Laura, while we let.
Well, we had talked about sharing like kind of the most commonly asked questions and giving answers to those. So I don't know if you have one or I can go.
You can start.
Okay. So whenever I ask people, well, this isn't a commonly asked question, but it's a common answer to my question, which is what makes you not want to try yoga? And the answers that I get are that I'm not flexible. I get that one so much. And so I want to answer that one now. And what I say to that is, you don't have to be, which sounds really simple, but it does keep people from trying yoga. Excuse me. And I understand it, but like, don't let that stop you. Like, some people are naturally flexible. And so what we see like of yoga portrayed in the media and in the world is like everybody's highlight reel, you know, it's like their handstand, they're like crazy balance. I always say like, it's like in a crazy balance pose on the edge of a cliff with like your eyes closed, you know, like that's what you see. What you don't see are everyone else who wasn't a gymnast when they were younger or a dancer when they were younger, and they just have normal, like regular people bodies, and they don't come to this super flexible. What I tell people is, especially for people in larger bodies, improving your flexibility can improve the quality of your life, and it can make movement and doing like daily like care tasks so much easier. And I think the same is true for strength training. Also.
100, yeah, 100%. I think there's so many things I could say. One, I was going to say, I walk around on my hands all the time. I was going to make a joke because that's what I do. But in terms of strength training, I really do like to look at it as a quality of life thing. You know, one of the reasons that I got into strength training or in fitness in general when I was younger is I saw that my grandma was like falling all over the place. And I am essentially her doppelganger. And I just like didn't want to be like that, right? I wanted to have control. And I know that with strength, I can do the things that like we should be able to do as just people, right? pick the thing up and not think about it, move whatever it is. And I also know that there are many ways in which our bodies move very differently from, like you said, the people in the media. But again, same with yoga. We have to just start and we just have to try. And there's so many ways to modify what it is that we're doing to make it work for us. And then I'm sure with yoga too, you can get better, right? Like your flexibility improves, your strength improves, all of that stuff. And then you just see that it's not as scary as a lot of us think it is to start, right? I'm terrified of yoga. I'm not even gonna lie. I did it for a very long time. I stopped and now I don't know if I'm ready to start again, but maybe I will because of this conversation. But the biggest question that I get all the time is like, how do I start? And I think, so now I have a couple answers. One is go buy my book. I didn't used to have that answer. One is go buy my book, but the actuality of it is you just have to start and you have to pick a plan of action. So that may be getting a personal trainer, that may be using a fitness program or an app or a book or something, but some sort of plan, just like yoga. I don't know, what do you call, the word is falling out of my head, a practice, like your practice, is it a flow or?
Yeah, I mean, people call it different things, but I just say like your personal practice. So for some people it's more flowy, for some people it's really static. And I always tell people like you can do one pose, you could do 0 poses, but like do the mental part of yoga and you have for the rest of your life, you could never do any of the other stuff and you could have a very rich and like rewarding practice. So
right. So there's intent, right? So I think that's the same thing here, is that like having your intention, having your what you want to accomplish from it. And if it's just walking in the door, then that's the hardest part.
Yeah, absolutely. And so to build on that, what I hear from people all the time, and the question is like, where can I go to find a yoga space where people aren't going to treat me badly because of my body? And so I get this from people who are in larger bodies or who are disabled or who are healing from injuries, or people who are older. Like there's just so many things with our bodies that feel like, oh, I can't do this thing, or like, I don't know where to go to do this thing, whether it's strength training or yoga or Pilates or, hiking, whatever. And because many of us have tried to access this and then been treated poorly. And so I don't know what your answer would be to this, is like, how do I know where to go? And what I always say is to find people online. And then if they teach where you are, or if they teach online, great. And if not, see who's following them, see who interacts with them. Like I always tell people to do research because I know firsthand how harmful and traumatic it can be to go to a place that does not want you there and they don't know what to do with your body.
Yep.
So.
Yep. I think with the internet, you're right. It makes it a little bit easier now to actually just do the research and visually do the research, right? Like that wasn't a thing years ago, but now it is pretty easy to like literally go on like if you go to Form Fitness's page on Instagram or our website, you're going to see that there's like a diverse group of bodies. But if you went to a different gym's page and you don't see it, then it's definitely not there. It's kind of that simple, right? So I think otherwise though, it's hard to say, like if you live in a place where there are just kind of commercial gyms and there aren't these studio gyms, you might have like a really awesome trainer or trainers that work there, but you could also have people that just kind of suck. Like it's hard to tell. And so I hate to say this, but sometimes if there is no other options, you have to take a chance. But again, maybe you're going in with your armor, right? Like knowing what you want to say, knowing how to present what it is that you're looking for. And I'm always open to have conversations. So if people ever want to ask me, what are the sentences? Like, what do I say to these random people? I'm always happy to have those conversations, but we do have to like stick up for ourselves. You know what I mean? Like, here's why I'm here. This is what I'm looking for. And if the person doesn't agree, then that's when you get to say, okay, well, no, thank you. Maybe
Are there any
differently, but
are there any places online that have like a list of like body positive or body liberation or weight neutral gym spaces?
well, I know that Superfit did. I don't know what the current status with all of that is,
Yeah,
to be honest with you.
I'm gonna type it in the chat. I honestly don't know if they still
Yeah.
have, but if they do, it was called the Fitness Finder.
Yeah.
That's a good resource. For yoga, the Curvy Yoga website has a list of certified Curvy Yoga teachers. That's where I did my yoga teacher training, so I'm on that list. And you can
Nice.
search by state or by city. And then also the Fitness Finder, and I feel like I saw another list. We're going to send a follow-up email to everyone who registered for this. So whether you came or the people who weren't able to make it. And so we'll include some links to whatever we can find there so that you can see those resources.
I mean, there are some like just random like Shape magazine articles and things like that. And so you can always just kind of Google it and see what pops up. Maybe one day I'll get a list going on my website for people. It's just been a little busy.
At this time, does anybody have any questions they want to throw out? Marie?
Hi, I don't necessarily have a question, but I just have some comments. Hi Morit, hi Laura. I just want to say, Morit, I've been following you for like, I don't know, maybe the past few months now. We've exchanged some messages through Instagram, and it's just wonderful just seeing like I see somebody that looks like me, you know. And for the longest time, like I always felt like I was that bigger girl that always entered every single gym, and all eyes on me. And for when I started my journey this year, because I was just so tired of being tired, during COVID, I decided I needed to do something about it. And I don't know how it all clicked, but it just did. And after 3 personal trainers, I mean, I love my personal trainer. Like I thought I loved my second personal trainer. We really clicked, and it was an emotional journey for me when he had to leave the gym and take on a different position. And I fought my third trainer. I really did, but he really stood by me. He really believed in me, and I can't live without him. I really can't. But I'm down 40 pounds, and it's just like the weight loss is so secondary to the mental clarity that I have, and I wouldn't trade that for the world. And you know, like, and I can't even tell you, like, it's just, I'm such a different person. And my trainer tells me all the time, like, Marie, you need to tell your story to people, because there are people just like you who just want to hear that there's hope, that you can do it too. And it's not easy, because it's just every single day I have to choose me. Beyond anything else.
That's totally right. Well, good job on working really hard. That's awesome. I think that the major point there, right, for everybody is that movement and yoga and strength and dance and all of these things we have to do for our bodies, because our bodies are what carry us through life. And so, yes, many of us, including myself, during COVID was feeling really down and dragging and tired and all of that stuff. And movement has been the only thing that has brought me joy and energy. And so, yes, sometimes there is weight loss involved, sometimes there isn't. That is not the point. That is not the purpose. The purpose is to feel good and to feel strong and to feel mentally strong and physically strong. So thank you for sharing with us.
And I just have one other comment. and this is my first time probably being back on the mat again. And no matter what, I could deadlift God knows how much, but going from cat cow to downward dog still kicks my butt every single time. I just don't understand it, but it just does.
It's
Well,
hard.
but so I was going to say, Laura, you can speak to this, but I think, and I actually have Laura's book, but I did not read it yet. I think your point is also that like a lot of times we assume yoga is just cat cow to downward dog, and clearly it's not just that, right? That like there's so many other ways to go about doing yoga, and so I think that following someone like Laura and there are, right, like Laura said, there's many other people too that are showing us that there's not one way to practice yoga. So just like there isn't one way to do a squat,
right?
Yeah.
But
absolutely. Morit, thank you so much for being vulnerable and sharing with us, and for being here today.
Yeah.
Thank you everyone for
thank you.
And yeah, and just to build on what y'all were talking about, the purpose is to like move your body, to find movement that feels pleasurable or joyful or interesting. I often throw out because sometimes it's not fun and I don't like it that much, but I'm like, well, this is interesting. I can do this. I can try this. And just that, like Morit just said, there's no one way to do yoga. And like I had kind of said before, like you could do literally only mountain pose or only a seated, Baddha Konasana with your knees out, like for the rest of your life. And like yoga is so much more than just the physical postures. Like you could build a rich yoga practice and never do any of the physical asana. But if that makes you excited, if that feels good in your body, if that feels interesting, then there's a lot of ways to find options to make the poses and the sequences work for you and not make your body work for them. So that's just like a huge thing for me, is like, there's always an option to make the pose work for you. And so cat cow to down dog is like very physically taxing. And so if that's something, like, just because that example came up, if that's something that you want to work on, cool. But if that's something that you are not interested in working on, like I am not at all interested in working on a handstand, like ever in my life, and I don't have to. And so we find the things that are interesting to us and that we want to do, and then we find ways to do them. So
Absolutely.
yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, I think thank you everyone for coming and joining us, and keep following along, and we appreciate the support.
Yeah.
And share with your friends. We need the shameless plug, but
I'm all about a shameless plug lately. I'm really working on like being okay with just saying, I wrote this book and it's fucking great and I'm really proud of it. And I want everyone to have it. Because like, this is the book that I wish that I had when I wanted to try yoga. And instead I had like a decade of trauma of like trying to try yoga. So.
And my message has been the same, and it goes with your book too, is that representation is the only thing that matters. And no matter what words are in either of our books, the photos, the fact that we're on bookshelves, the fact that we are, actually, this one is huge. Personal trainers can get CEUs for our books. And that is like, I get goosebumps thinking about that. That is incredibly insane. I'm like, anyway, I'll stop talking now. But the point is, tell your friends.
Tell everybody. Holidays are coming up. Buy it for everyone. And so, like I said, we're going to send just a follow-up email, and we'll put links and stuff. We'll put links to the books, and we'll put links to those resources that we talked about. And if you have any questions, feel free to hit reply to that email and send it then. So thank you so much, everyone, for your kind words in the comments and for coming tonight. And we'll see you around.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
Bye.